Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Eimear McKeown. Today's top stories. Health officials are meeting to discuss if any COVID-19 restrictions can be eased in a week's time. The number of confirmed cases of coronavirus among patients at University Hospital Waterford remains unchanged. Guardian Waterford City sees heroin worth over €12,000. And in sport, tributes are being paid to former Republic of Ireland international Michael Robinson, who has died at the age of 61. Health officials are meeting to discuss if any COVID-19 restrictions can be eased in a week's time. There are reports the lockdown could be extended with a minimum lifting of the measures. Stephanie Rohan reports.
We're now a week out from the 5th of May and the possible easing of some restrictions. People over 70 could be allowed out to exercise. The 2-kilometre limit may be extended to 5 and DIY stores could open with social distancing. But there are reports the lockdown could remain largely unchanged and stay in place for a further 2 weeks. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr Tony Hoolan's, warning any decisions are likely to go down to the wire. Consultant Dr Chris Luke says we have to be careful of a second wave.
The Spanish flu was said to have killed a couple of million people in its first wave. But in the second wave, it killed tens of millions of people. So I'm particularly anxious about the second wave.
There are now over 19,600 confirmed cases of the virus and 1,102 people have lost their lives. Dublin remains the county with the most confirmed cases, followed by Kildare and Cork. But once again, if you break it down per 100,000 of the population, Cavan has the highest number, followed by Dublin and Monaghan. This has led to concerns about cases in border counties and calls for an all-Ireland approach to tackling the virus.
The number of confirmed cases of coronavirus among patients at University Hospital Waterford remains unchanged. As of 8 p.m. last night, there were 7 cases on site. A further 7 suspected cases are awaiting test results. 2 people remain in intensive care. Elsewhere in the southeast, there are 10 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in both Wexford General and St Luke's Kilkenny. There are 2 patients with coronavirus in South Tip. As of midnight on Saturday, there were 137 confirmed cases in Waterford since the outbreak began. That's an increase of 2 since Friday. Heroin worth over €12,000 was seized by Gardaí in Waterford City yesterday. At around 2:20 p.m, the Divisional Drugs Unit were in the Poleberry area where a surveillance-led operation located a known heroin dealer. He was stopped and searched and Gardaí found 23 deals of heroin worth €1,120 in his possession. The 28-year-old was arrested and a follow-up search of his address was conducted and 76 grams of heroin worth €10,640 was located in a false partition in a press. €6,125 was also found. The drugs and money have been seized. The man is currently detained at Waterford Garda Station. It's expected Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil will formally respond to the Green Party's letter on government formation today. It's been 80 days since the general election and there's still little sign of a government being formed. Waterford Fianna Fáil TD Mary Butler is calling for a third party to come on board to form a grand coalition between Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. She says a strong government is needed to rebuild the country post-COVID-19.
It's imperative with the COVID pandemic that we do have a government with a clear majority, because there's going to be very, very tough decisions to be made down the line. We see already the amount of money that has had to be spent to facilitate people who have lost their jobs. And we're in a situation where economic activity has stalled, has stopped in a lot of instances. And, we're going to have to reboot the economy, and a lot of tough decisions are going to have to be made, and you need a strong, stable government to do that.
A man in his 50s has been arrested as part of the investigation into the murder of a missing couple in County Meath. 34-year-old Willie Maughan from Tala in Dublin and his 20-year-old girlfriend Anna Varslavan from Latvia went missing from their home in Gormanston, County Meath on the 14th of April 2015. Gardaí believe the couple were murdered, but their remains have never been found. The man from the UK is also being held for the discovery of firearms earlier this year and ammunition last year. He's being held at Ashbourne Garda Station and can be detained for up to 7 days. There's calls for Waterford Council to waive fees at their refuse centres. It's in an effort to curb the explosion of illegal dumping in recent weeks. Fianna Fáil's Eamon Quinlan says household rubbish can be seen across the city and county.
I've personally had to call out our teams to areas such as Gracedue, Summerhill and Carrickferrish over the last week. This is being driven by the loss of family income due to coronavirus, but which will ultimately be paid for by the taxpayer. I am calling on Waterford City and County Council to follow the lead of other local authorities around the country and offer a safe legal alternative by way of waiving all fees and to accept black bags of household rubbish at our refuse centres across the city and county.
Sinn Féin's Conor McGuinness would like to see open days at civic amenity sites.
So in tandem with enhanced enforcement measures that I've long advocated, I believe we should act to reward responsible citizens, to disincentivise those who engage in illegal dumping. So I've asked the council management to explore how a series of phased open days at civic amenity sites, or even a voucher system, could work to allow people across Waterford City and County to dispose of clear-out type rubbish, such as broken toys, mattresses, paint cans, broken furniture, garden waste and so on. And I hope that such a measure could do a lot to address the spike in illegal dumping that we've seen already over recent weeks.
A free service which carries out small jobs for vulnerable and isolated people in Waterford is continuing to operate at present. The Care and Repair programme is run by Waterford Area Partnership with funding from Waterford Council. Ian Lennon is the project coordinator. He is reaching out to people who don't have families or neighbours who can help them with essential jobs.
By essential works, I mean the likes of putting up handrails or shower seats to help with people's mobility, maybe securing people in their homes with extra locks on doors and windows and that type of thing, and down to small things that the likes of myself and yourself might find simple, like down to changing a light bulb, or we had a phone call today about a lady that lost all her television channels. It's down to small things that at this time are big things to older people who might be cocooning or self-isolating as well, you know.
He says they will be following strict procedures to keep everyone safe.
All our volunteers will be supplied with PPE as well from ourselves, and as well as that we'll be working to very strict protocols that Age Action Ireland have issued us as well, and as well as the HSE guidelines also.
A 23-year-old man is fighting for his life after being found unresponsive at a homeless hostel in Tullamore yesterday. 2 women aged 44 and 19 were pronounced dead at the same premises on Sunday and Monday. A 32-year-old man, also staying at the hostel, is ill, but his condition is not life-threatening. Gardaí are awaiting toxicology reports, but one line of inquiry is that the victims may have ingested fake Xanax tablets. Gardaí are investigating whether the death of a 30-year-old man at a different hostel in the town on Thursday is linked.
WLR Sport, Ireland's local station of the year.
Tributes are being paid to former Republic of Ireland international Michael Robinson, who has died at the age of 61. Robinson, who won 24 caps for the boys in green between 1980 and 86, had been suffering from skin cancer. He played for Liverpool, Preston, Manchester City, Brighton, QPR and Osana, where he spent 3 seasons before settling in Spain to work in the media. He won the European Cup, Division 1 title and the League Cup in 1984 in his only full season with Liverpool. Graham Souness was also part of that team, and he's paid tribute to his close friend.
I'm really sad for Chris and his kids. I know, he's been fighting this for a number of years now, and it's been difficult for him. And he had recently moved to Marbella from Madrid. But when you look at his career, he was a very good footballer. He enjoyed a year at Liverpool, but we had a glory year, and it's a big part of that. Then he took himself off to Spain, played at Osasuna in Spain, and then he's created a life for himself in the media out there, and he was extremely popular in Spain.
The Premier League have been given a deadline of the 25th of May by UEFA to provide plans on how they're going to restart their season. European football's governing body has issued the guidelines to all of its 55 associations. UEFA's executive committee will hold its next conference call on May the 27th, where it intends to reach a decision over whether domestic competitions can be completed in August. The Premier League has been suspended since the 13th of March, but the UK government want football to get up and running again as soon as possible. Several clubs have returned to training with restrictions in place. Finally, Tokyo 2020 President Yoshiro Moro said that the Olympic Games will be scrapped if they can't be staged in 2021. The International Olympic Committee and the Japanese government postponed this summer's Games until July 2021 because of the impact of the coronavirus outbreak. The Olympics are due to start on the 23rd of July in 2021. WLR asking you to stay at home. Our next bulletin is at 2.